destination. Your route guidance is now finished. Let's go. Turn right. Get ready to turn right. Turn right.
off. Just use PayPal to pool money together.
Right, I know. Then we'll get a 5-tier cake, a karaoke machine, and a giant piñata.
Don't just pay. PayPal.
The PayPal account is required to create a pool. Pools are free to create. Terms and limitations apply.
You get more when you go by train with Thameslink Railway. Like more of the fast track and less, the slow lane. More space to stretch and less squeezing into a hard-to-find parking space. And more fuel in your tank, because there's less to drive you round the bend. Get more when you go by train with Thameslink Railway, with a third off group travel at thameslinkrailway.com. Terms apply.
You're home. Day done. Work done. Being crammed onto a packed bus done. Phoning your friend back, the one who likes to talk, a lot done. And wearing a bra? Yeah, that's definitely done.
Taking your bra off feels great, and so does getting your breast screening sorted. It can detect cancer long before you can even feel it, or more likely, put your mind at rest. So when the NHS invites you, save the date. It could save your life.
You could be one of the millions of UK drivers who may be owed thousands in compensation. If you bought a car on finance from 2007 onwards, you may have been unfairly charged hidden commission payments. My Claim Group can help you check, even if you can't remember your car or lender details. Text CLAIM to 86688. My Claim Group is authorised and regulated by the Financial Conduct Authority. Text CLAIM to 86688.
Claims made simple. Great value speaks for itself. Just ask our customers.
If somebody said to me that they wouldn't use Ocado because it was expensive, I would say to them, have you even tried?
Ocado match your shop on thousands of products to Tesco.com.
Mum thinks that Ocado do that especially for her, so I had to tell her they do that for everybody. That's not just you, Mum.
Next £10 voucher for difference on like-for-like shop excludes marketplace. Geographical and other restrictions apply. Minimum spend and delivery fees apply. Full terms at ocado.com/price promise.
Connect Ferrari at breakfast on LBC. Call 0345 6060 973.
Let's just feature some of the social media and texts that are coming in. The stories which we started the hour is the idea, and we'll come back, of course, on this. A trans doctor can have their record effectively, of course, not if they've been struck off. I want to stress this. A lot of you writing in just to get that, and whether that's right or not. This comes in from John. Any patient, irrespective of their sex, should be able to request an examination as needed, that they know the doctor's background and they know both sex and gender. Anything else seems positively weird. Anthony says, on the question of certain sex of a doctor and the NHS having to provide, how would it work if a sexually driven patient wanted a woman to inspect their private areas because they got pleasure from it? Well, you can never license all that sort of thing. I mean, it just spares all for the two poor doctors who have to get involved in matters such as this. One last one. This comes from Alf in Halifax. Some of us cannot even countenance a female giving an intimate examination or even washing in a sensitive area. But then again, I am a male and I do not count in today's world. Right, let's keep that conversation going. Sashi is in Newcastle. You're on the radio, Sashi. Your view on this. Hello.
Good morning, Nick.
Hello, Sashi.
Yes, with some difficulty that I'm picking up the phone to talk to you about this rather sensitive issue, in fact. I think if a man were to change his gender and become a woman or designate himself as a woman, you may not be carrying your crown jewels between your legs, but the brain is the same. And I think it's very stupid, actually, General Medical Council to have gone down this route. It can make some mistakes. Any big organizations can do so. And I think it's important to go back and actually look at it again. The public outcry is unbelievable, actually. And I think as a doctor, practicing doctor, though I like there's been no issues with the General Medical Council, I think the council has problems with that. And they're going to re-examine this.
Yes. And you are a practicing doctor now?
Yes, indeed I am, actually. And I'm going to my dusty years of my career.
Right.
I'm retired and returned after COVID. And I just believe in fact, and I think we can get teaching, like these very sensitive stuff.
How long have you been a GP? Are you a GP, doctor?
No, I'm actually a consultant.
How long have you been in the profession?
30 years, Chief.
How has it altered over those 3 decades?
oh my goodness me, it's actually unrecognizable at the moment. The wokeism has completely taken over.
What do you mean by that? Define wokeism as you see it in the NHS.
I think you've got to be politically right, and anything you say, anything you do, you've got to be highly vigilant to actually make.
Is the treatment patients getting better?
I don't think so. I think there's one, that's something that I can't actually deny. When I started in 86 as a junior doctor, many of my patients died, in fact, in being on the waiting place. So those things have all changed big time. And I'm very thankful. I think we need to change these things, actually. And I think, health service has evolved a lot. Patient expectations are very high. But in this process, I think, we have really lost the actual, the main thing, and actually we're catching the tail.
How has morale changed over those 3 or 4 decades, Shashi? When you came in the mid to late 80s as a young man, and you're now in the autumn of your career, how has the morale changed?
Well, I think we see ourselves actually as workers, and I know it was a very professional thing when we started, actually. In fact, as a doctor, as a consultant, and a lot more gravitas when I started in 94. I suppose that needed toning down, but unfortunately now I'm just a humble functionary. Now, this morning I'm coming to my clinic, I just come to my clinic and I go away. I just don't seem to have the same kind of belonging to actually a place as I did actually about 20 to 25 years ago.
Enjoyed our conversation. Thanks for all your years of service in the past. Thanks for the years of service you're still to give. Sashi, thank you for your input. 7 before 9 is the time. Now let's come to a new law. Domestic abuse specialists were embedded in a number of 999 control rooms yesterday as part of the launch of an initiative called Raneem's Law. Jess Phillips, Minister for Safeguarding and Violence Against Women and Girls, talks of creating force-wide cultural change. Raneem's Law is named in memory of Raneem Uday, who was killed by her ex-partner. She'd reported him to police at least 7 times, made 4 999 calls on the night she was murdered alongside her mother in Solihull near Birmingham. An inquest finding police failings had materially contributed to their deaths. Noor Norris is a domestic abuse campaigner for Secure Life and was the aunt of the young woman and sister of the other woman who were murdered, as I say, those years ago in Solihull, and joins me now. Well, it's a bittersweet day for you yesterday and today, of course. What do you hope that, may I call you Noor? What do you hope this brings about, Noor? Good morning.
Hi, good morning, good morning. It's a campaign for the last 6 years non-stop, and it felt like a mountains, and I think it landed last 2 days. It's been really quite an emotional transformation. Now it's not all just about Raneem's Law, it's about the victims out there. So we're talking here about saving lives, and that's the most fundamental right for every human being on this planet and this country. So having that law now, it means that Raneem is not here, we can't bring her back, but her legacy will continue to save lives, and she will be alive in every person that gets saved through her.
How would you characterise the police response to the needs of your niece and indeed your sister?
Absolutely devastating, because what Raneem went through her abuse, what a lot of people don't understand, that she called the police overall 13 times on the day, 4 times. So she explained herself really, really well, and they were very dismissive because they had a culture around domestic abuse. No one really wanted to deal with it, and that is appalling. And many victims back then as well faced very similar tragedy. But to see that was really moving, to see that transformation now and the changes and saving lives.
So what happens as a result of the law named after your niece? What will happen going forward?
Raneem's Law is like an umbrella, basically, and it focuses on domestic abuse and violence against women and girls in general. And that could be abuse or stalking, all that. So it really covers a huge range of abuse that a person can carry on another person, and not just on women and girls as well. It happens to anybody, but obviously we see that in that region. And what it's gonna be the first initial thing is going to be the first response for 999 caller. So if there's a victim called in for 999 and they had the courage to call and ask for help, all the help she needs that Renee didn't get, the victim will get at that point. And that from understanding what she's going through because they've had training, and by having a specialist who can filter everything and make sure that they safeguard the victim and take them beyond that on the journey of savior, because that is something should have been there years and years and years ago. And to see it now happening is saddening, but at the same time, I am grateful that it's happening and taking place.
What is the sort of training these people will have?
So the whole forces throughout the whole country, training being taken in place for to learn about domestic abuse, stalking, abusing, killing, harassment. What does it mean? What does it mean to be a victim? Why does victims don't actually want to press charge or leave their perpetrator simply because it's too dangerous? And there is a lot to it than just learning about the jobs, learning about the victim and how to save them and how to safeguard them. Also, Ronim's law has evolved the system, because if the shocking things I learned is the whole forces in the whole country operate in a very different way. So they don't have a framework that work. What they had is everyone was doing their own thing, sort of thing. So when Ronim's law came, oh my God, it was like we had to change the whole system to make it fit enough. So it has evolved the system. So we've got a new system and a much more efficient system on the computer and for safeguarding as well.
Noah, thank you for your time. I hope in a way this helps bring some closure to the tragedies that you've had to endure. Noah Norris's domestic abuse campaign of a secure life. She lost both her niece and her sister to that murderer, and of course it's named after her niece, Ranim's law. All right, music means it is time to move on. And tragedy to the army, they confess we should have done more to stop a 19-year-old gunner taking her life. Former Defence Secretary Sir Ben Wallace, speaking with me earlier in the week, said,
"We need that talent. Why that our security services are full of women? Why can't we do that? We should do it. It's a great career, it's a great future."
Putting the business in show business, James Bond franchise moves on, but what might it mean for the movies or possible TV series, God forbid? And yes, it's party time in Gaza as the bodies of the hostages, including 2 young children, were handed over by Hamas terrorists to whoops and cheers of glee. We'll return to that after the 9 o'clock news on LBC.
On your radio, on Global Player, and
Play LBC.
Leading Britain's conversation. This is LBC.
From Global's newsroom at 9 o'clock, Israel says it received the body of a Gazan in the place of the remains of an Israeli hostage. 2 of the bodies handed over to Israel yesterday were those of young children Ariel and Kafir Bibas. Officials say the remains of their mother, Shiri, were substituted by Hamas. Richard Pater, director of the think tank BICOM, says the family has become a symbol of the conflict.
1,200 died on that October the 7th, and so many of those people that lost their lives kind of remained faceless and not familiar to the Israeli public. But as a symbol, the Bibas family really galvanised the full Israeli society.
The Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu says it's a cruel and malicious violation of the Gaza ceasefire. President Zelensky has insisted he had a good discussion with the US envoy to Ukraine after a news conference was cancelled at the last minute. He'd been due to face questions alongside Keith Kellogg after their talks in Kiev yesterday. A Polish woman who has claimed to be Madeleine McCann has been charged with 4 counts of stalking. Julia Wandel was arrested at Bristol Airport on Wednesday. The 23-year-old is due to appear at Leicester Magistrates Court later. Specialists are starting work in some 999 control rooms to help tackle domestic abuse. They're being embedded in 5 police force areas: the West Midlands, Northumbria, Northamptonshire, Bedfordshire and Humberside. It's part of Ranim's law, named after a woman killed by her ex-partner. Safeguarding Minister Jess Phillips has told LBC there will be a wider rollout as soon as possible.
working directly in the call centres with policing teams, offering that support to victims, but also changing the culture and training of those who handle the calls.
And figures show retailers had a better-than-expected January, with sales up by 1.7%. Economists had expected growth of just 0.3% after a decline in the sector over Christmas. In the city, the FTSE 100 a short time ago was trading down a point at 86.61. The pound buys $1.26 and euro 20. LBC weather feeling very mild and quite windy. Some heavy rain in northern and western parts. A high of 60 degrees. From Global's newsroom for LBC, I'm Thomas Ross.
Someone in the UK has got that Euro Millions feeling because they have won the incredible £65 million Euro Millions jackpot. I reckon they've had a bit of a dance. All around the house, then out the door, down the path and into the street. For all we know, they're probably still dancing. Go on, guys. Get that Euro Millions feeling. Euro Millions from the National Lottery. Rules and procedures apply. Players must be 18 or over.
This